Awesome. Rohan Patel company. Hi, Ty. How are you?
Hey, Rohan, I'm good. How about you?
Not too bad, man. It's a great pleasure to meet you. I'm a huge fan. So I
Oh,
wanted to
thank
get
you.
started with the Asphalt City is a very intense movie. So like, what was the sort of preparation that went into getting into the mind space of these paramedics? And because it has a very like end of watch, The Wire kind of feel to it as well.
Yeah, a lot of ride-alongs. Just working very closely with medics. We're trying to make this movie since 2018, so it's been around for a long time. It's been a labor of love for a long time, and for years I kind of spent time traveling back and forth to New York and doing ride-alongs with medics, going out on the ambulance with them and working a 12-hour night shift. And so we got really close to their work and their jobs. 2 months before we started shooting, we were doing three or four ride-alongs a week. So usually Friday night, Saturday night, and then sometimes Tuesday or Wednesdays. And then we were spending the rest of our time in a classroom kind of environment and just going through the basics of medic school essentially. And we had some great advisors from Wyckoff Hospital in Brooklyn, which is largely pretty much where we shot this film.
Yeah, and the film, and, I mean, it's incredible stuff. Like some of the stories. So, like, most of those are based off the novel that it's or the book that it's based off of. So, were there certain scenes from the book that you were trying to bring into the movie, or was that like how was that sort of collaborative process, like what you wanted to depict in the movie versus all the content that's actually in the book?
Yeah, I think it's always a tricky thing, when you're trying to adapt a novel to the screen because it's a different version of the story. And I think you have to do what's best for the version of the story that's going on the screen. So I think that was definitely the case with this film. And I think a lot of the medics that we ended up spending time with and hearing their stories, those stories ended up becoming a part of the movie. So it was kind of this, melding pot of sorts of, from experiences and stories from the book. The book originally takes place in Harlem in the 90s. So obviously we went with a much more contemporary telling of the film. And then yeah, it's mostly set in East New York.
Yeah, and so like this is, I think this is your second film that you've actually produced after The Night Clerk. So what
Mhm.
is sort of something that you learned on that film that kind of informed how you approach this project, and how did it sort of help make the whole process a little easier for you as the producer this time?
Well, I don't think the process of producing this film was easy at all. There
Yeah.
was nothing easy about this movie. This movie was, an uphill battle every step of the way. But sometimes those projects, those really special projects are, if it wasn't difficult, it wouldn't be worth it, right? And I think time is just essential and so valuable. So on a movie like this, it's the more time that you can get to make the film, the better off you and your crew are going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have you've co-starred with a lot of great actors throughout your career, but this time you're also co-starring with Sean Penn, who plays this extremely pivotal role to your character and all not to the film as well. So what's it like working with Sean and seeing him bring Jean to life, and especially during some of those, like, I don't want to spoil the movie, but like the later act of when he's going through some stuff, and then so what was the process of working opposite Sean?
Great. I mean, he's a super intense guy, in a great way. I think he does bring a level of professionalism to a set, and he takes his work very seriously, especially, you know, this role as it pertains to, you know, conveying the lives of a first responder, of a medic. I think he took that very seriously, and I think we kind of leaned on each other through the process. We were both kind of in the weeds together, trying to become medics, and look like we knew what we were doing. So I think it was very collaborative in that sense. I think that we really leaned on each other through the process, and yeah, and he's also a great filmmaker himself. He knows exactly what we need from the scene, and so I think it's really amazing to work with somebody like that, especially on a film like this where you don't have a lot of time, and you're up against the clock constantly. So yeah, he just brings a level of intensity, a great intensity, and a sense of professionalism, and then seriousness about conveying, you know, these guys, these paramedics.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ty. I really appreciate it, and
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking
Thank
forward to
you.
seeing hopefully Ready Player 2 in a couple years. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it.